What up, what up, what up? Welcome back to the Two Goat Show. We're your hosts, Miriah and Steph. Steph, happy Two Goat Thursday. How you doing? I know
Happy
things,
Thursday.
going on in your life or anything. So
Just a little.
let us
Just a little bit. But no, happy Thursday. Excited to be on today. I mean, the schedule release is one of the big milestones of the off season, so I'm glad we have that to talk about.
We definitely do have that to talk about. Chat, what's up? Hope everybody is doing great. Hope you guys have all had a great week so far. Shout out to Throwback, always just an awesome dude there. Don, what's up? I see you. Rob, the homies, first in the building. We appreciate you. Daniel Barry, I see you. Hope everybody's doing great. So, I mean, unless you've been under a rock or locked in a closet or something, then you probably have seen this 49ers schedule release by now. However, we're still going to play it just because I got the celebrity here and that's what I'm going to do. Okay. So let me share the screen here. Let me see which one I got her loaded up on here. All right. Now, I've had people reach out already asking me if I knew about this, if I knew that it was coming.
Oh, really?
I did not have any clue whatsoever. The 49ers did post a video like the day before, was it the day before or something, that Nick Bosa was on there saying some stuff. What did he say? Schedule release coming soon or something. And he was in his boat. So then you retweeted or quote tweeted that with some like eyes or with something, right?
Yeah.
And then I responded and said, Steph, do you have a boat? Now, I said that because I'm thinking, okay, she's going to do a video after the schedule release, and remember in the past, you have done one like in the car, like and stuff. So that's why I was like, do you have a boat, so that you could do the video like that. I had no clue that this was what was coming. I just wanted to get it up here and set. All right. So, teams on Twitter. Was this released on all, I'm guessing all social media, 49ers social media?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. So, lots of time, all the teams, if you're on Twitter, X, if you're not, all the teams release, some type of video or something releasing with the video, with the schedule release. So this was ours. Let's take a look.
The 2024 schedule is finally here. I know just the right person to get me fired up for this upcoming season.
Hey guys, good to see you all again. It's good to be back. We got the schedule release and looks like we're going to be playing a lot of tough teams this year. We just got to be ourselves, even if we're not feeling like ourselves, like when I skip a leg day or if I accidentally eat a carb, you know what I mean? We've got some new guys in the building, so it's our responsibility to show them the ropes. The weight room, that's where you can find me. Another day at the gym. Bosa. All right. More reps. Looks like we have 2 trips to Florida this year. It's a great place. Can't wait to show you guys my boat, my gym, give you guys a gym tour where I work on these quads.
I don't really sound like that, do I?
All right. So I know that you already did a show about this and everything, but we're here right now. Tell me how did this happen? How long have you known about this? Like, I need to know how, when, where, why, all those things that they taught us in school to ask.
Yeah, so maybe like close to a month ago, you know, Johnny Folk from 49ers, he's like the head guy for like social media with the 49ers. He DM'd me and he was just wondering if I'd be down to, be part of the schedule release. He didn't tell me what I'd be doing, although I did kind of like obviously figure it would maybe be for the impersonation, but like I was in the dark as far as what it was gonna be for a while. But I was like, hell yeah. Like obviously you don't have to think twice about that. I was like, I don't care what I have going on. If I have anything going on that day, I will make this happen. So I'll do it. And yeah, it's been so I actually went out there like the weekend of the draft. It was I flew out that Saturday, which I think it's day 3 of the draft. So it's kind of crazy, right? Because like as a content creator, like we're really locked into the draft as well. So yeah, I flew out that Saturday. We filmed that Sunday. I flew back home later that Sunday afternoon. So it was really just like 24 hours in the Bay. Just to film it. And, we did the whole stadium tour. If you guys checked out like the behind the scenes video that I posted, like, you kind of see what that experience was like. They did the tour of the museum as well. They put my name up on like the board and everything. So that was awesome. Yeah, man, it was just a crazy experience. There were so many times that day where I was just like feeling like I needed to pinch myself. Like I couldn't even believe what was happening. Like getting to be in the locker room, getting to be in the gym, just like places where, the average fan wouldn't normally get to go. Right. So it was really awesome. And yeah, thankful to the 49ers for letting me be a part of it.
Yeah, that is awesome. What's up, Tanya? I see you. Ty, what's up? Yeah, when I first watched it, I thought like you had done, just did the thing in front of a green screen, like the first time I'm looking at it. Like I didn't know like it was a whole fly out experience, like this whole big thing. So that makes it like even cooler that, like with today's day and age, like you could have easily done that, like some way from your own house, right? Like so, but for them to fly you out or you fly out, I don't know if they flew you out. I hope they flew you out. For you to fly out there and be able to do that whole thing. And for something that's so big, like a schedule release, like the entire NFL fan base from the shittiest team to the best team, we're all waiting for that day to find out, what games, when, who, all this stuff. So to be a part of that big production, like that's so awesome. And it couldn't have happened to a better person, like just what, and, I shared somebody, there's another, like, I'm not going to put out any names, but if you're on social media, but there's another 49ers female content creator that's going to the Bay to cover, what is it, the Dwight Clark?
The Heart Fund, Golden Heart Fund,
yeah,
or something like that.
Yeah, that whole thing. And like it's her first time covering something like that, as media. And she don't even live in the United States. Like she's flying in from a different country to come do this. And it's like any time that, somebody, especially a female, can open a door like this in this area that we're in, like every other female content creator, sports person, whatever your field is in this stage, like the women paving this steps for us, like just like the women ahead of us were opening doors to even allow us to be able to talk about sports, because this wasn't even allowed back in the day. No way are you tuning in to women talking about football, but one woman had to all of a sudden break that boundaries down, right? And say, screw it, I'm going to do this. and we followed in suit. So anytime that one of us can do something like this, it's so huge for the rest of us. And like, I don't know if you even realize, like to you, it's just like, oh, I'm doing this as, like you said, like a fan doesn't normally get to experience that kind of stuff. But like, it's so much more to the people that follow you, to the people that are in, like I said, in this place, like in women in sports specifically. Like what you're doing is so huge to the rest of us, so with that being said, that I appreciate you just on an everyday, my co-host, my friend level, but like, I appreciate you so much more for breaking down these doors and for not being scared, for not even thinking twice to go and do something like this, not giving a shit if people are going to like it, if they're not going to like it, what they have to say about it. You're like, hell yeah. Like, why wouldn't I? I'm not going to think twice about that. Like that's so awesome. So I greatly appreciate it.
Yeah, and thank you for those kind words, Miriah. Like that does mean a lot. And you're right, like I don't really think about that, just like how it might impact others, but I mean that helps put it into perspective. And that's crazy to even think. I wouldn't have imagined that, me doing something could potentially impact other women, or I guess make them feel more empowered as a woman in sport. But you saying that definitely means a lot. And also shout out Rita Oak, because Rita Oak as well, as an artist, female artist, being able to have her own video showcasing her artwork. And shout out to the 49ers for like, leaning into women, who are content creators or artists, and letting them be a part of something like this. So yeah, it's really cool for sure.
Let's pull up the schedule. And shout out to everybody here in the chat. We see you, appreciate you. Jason here said, hey, Steph, been watching you with stats. First time checking out your show. Kudos to the video. You're awesome.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I mean, like, that's the other part too. It's like the impersonations are great. And obviously, like, I feel like it's opened up a lot of opportunities that if I was just doing like podcasting, I wouldn't get the opportunity. Like there's been so many listeners and viewers, subscribers today who have literally said that they've come across me because of the impersonation videos. That's how they became familiar with the podcast. So that's cool. Like that's really freaking cool. And another reason why I'll continue to, do it, along with like, obviously people like them, but just to get more eyes on the pod as well.
Yeah, that is awesome. And like I said, you deserve every single bit of it. So right now, if you are watching on my channel and you are not subscribed to Steph for whatever reason, I don't know if you, like I said, been locked in a closet your whole life up until this day, but her link is right in the description box. So it's not hard. Please click it. Please go subscribe. She brings great content. Let's check out this schedule now. So this is the first time this is the first show I've done all week. I've been just lounging around my house, So I wish I was, but I'm very excited. Before we even get into the actual schedule, let me just circle right here on this at Raiders game, because those I know, I live in Vegas, so not many times I get to take advantage of the 49ers coming to my city. So preseason or not, luckily it's the third preseason game. So I'm going to hope our starters will play for a quarter or so, but I don't care if it's 4-string playing, as long as the tickets aren't, crazy, I'm going to be there. So looking at this schedule stuff, when you first saw this, I know there were a lot of leaks coming out. From the leaks that I had first saw, I was, penciling in, expecting the bye was the first thing I looked at when the bye is. And like the slot that was empty on like the sheet that was going around of like all the leaks was week 11. So I'm thinking, okay, a bye week, week 11, that's awesome, you know. Luckily it's not too far off and it's like right in the middle of the season. So I mean, I've seen some teams, the bye weeks are starting at like week 5 or 6 or something. People got some early ass buys this season. And I'm just like so thankful that at least ours is in the middle, you know. But what were your first thoughts when you look at this? I know that there's been, you know, a lot of talk going around about the rest factor, as in 49ers players rest and the lack thereof.
Mm-hmm.
And then people, there's 4 teams coming off buys that we will play. So the rest for opponents. We'll get into that, but kind of tell me what, you know, looking at this schedule, what your first thoughts were.
Yeah, so I definitely like the season opener, and I know that one we knew for a couple days before the schedule actually came out, but I love that that sets up to be an entertaining week 1 for the 49ers at home. You know, the 49ers don't get a lot of home games to really start the season, so for them to be able to start season opener is your home opener and it's on Monday Night Football. I mean, yeah, can't get any better than that.
Mm-hmm.
Then the second thing I noticed is, the first 5 weeks of the season is pretty favorable to the 49ers. I mean, there's no reason looking at it today that the 49ers aren't 5-0 after week 5. Like I really feel that way. Then there's a bit of a mini gauntlet, you can call it. Because you have the Seahawks, which, you know, NFC West opponent. I'm not saying I'm like threatened by the Seahawks, but just in the context of it being these 3 games in a row, I am lumping them into this. It's a Thursday night football game as well, so it's going to be coming off of a short week. You're traveling to Seattle, right? And then week 7, you have the Chiefs, which, you know, I don't need to say much about that one and why I feel that way about that. Then he got week 8, Sunday Night Football against the Cowboys. I mean, I know the 49ers have pretty much owned the Cowboys in, you know, the last few years. So it's not that I'm worried about the Cowboys either. It's just that, hey, those are 3 like pretty good teams in a row. And so I think I see it as a mini gauntlet. You could call it something else too. Gauntlet sounds very daunting, but for lack of a better term. And then you got the bye week. And I think, yes, I would have preferred the week 11 bye week. I was thinking the exact same thing because I'd seen the leak and I was like, 11 is perfect, especially if you're an aspiring playoff team, right? Or you're assuming your team is going to be in the playoffs. 11 is the best spot. That's kind of in the middle. Week 9, still not bad. Like, yes, there are teams who have bye weeks as early as week 5. That's terrible. The second year in a row, 49ers have a week 9 bye. So that's good. And they're going to need that bye at that moment. One, because of the 3 games I mentioned prior, but after week 9, like that is the meat of their schedule and it gets pretty crazy. The Bucks is like, yeah, the 49ers should be able to beat the Bucks, but they're also like a respectable team. They made the playoffs last year. You know, Baker Mayfield, he was looking pretty good. You know, in that offense. And then week 11, you have the Seahawks again. By week 11, I kind of feel like, you know, the Seahawks might be better than they were in week 6 because with a new head coach, you know, usually it takes some time to get kind of acclimated to your players and vice versa. So I think the Seahawks could be onto something by week 11. Week 6, I don't really think so. And then you really have what could shape up to be the big gauntlet. And it's split by the Bears game in week 14. That game has the potential to be interesting because we look at the Bears now and we're like, okay, the Bears have been pretty bad. Like that's what we think about them. But if Caleb Williams, let's just say he has the type of season that CJ Stroud had, I'm obviously just saying like hypothetically, right? By week 14, like there's a decent chance that he's acclimated to that offense and his playmakers and things start clicking for the Bears, right? So that week 14 game, we might not look at it as so interesting right now, but could very well be by week 14. So, and another thing, you have the Packers and you have the Bills might be somewhat cold. I mean, I'm definitely glad it's not later in the season, but is still the potential for it to be cold. That Packers game is in the end of November, and then the Bills game is like the beginning of December. So it'll be cooled down, and then especially that Bills game, since it's a night game, I would expect, you know, weather could play a role in those two. And then you got the Rams, Dolphins, and then week 17 against the Lions. So that right there to me is like a crazy stretch for the 49ers. That doesn't even, all of this doesn't even take into account what you mentioned, that, you know, the 49ers going to be facing 4 teams coming off a bye again. The second year in a row they've had to do that. And, you know, you also mentioned the lack of rest compared to their opponents. They're at a negative 22 rest differential compared to their opponents this upcoming season. So that is the extra context that could play a role in how these games are played for the 49ers. So yeah, it's definitely, it starts off easy, but you know, don't take that for granted. You need those 5 wins because you don't know what's going to happen after the bye week.
Yeah. You know, when you talk about the rest, so I've seen some things going around. Let me stop sharing this. And you know, some people saying that it doesn't matter, it's a bunch of BS, who cares? And some people, of course, on the completely other side, like, are freaking out about it, right? And there's this chart, you know, for those that haven't seen it, there's a chart going around that shows the worst net rest differential since 2002. The 2024 49ers are number 3 on that list. So, you know, going into this season, they're going to be the number 3 worst net rest differential since 2002. For comparison, last season they were 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7th on the list. So last season it was, you know, it was going on and people were talking about it, you know, like you said, we played last season 4 teams coming off a bye. We lost to 2 of those teams. At least 2 of them. I think just 2. Yeah. But so, you know, that chart's going around. So, and the person that shares that chart says tough scene for San Francisco, right? Then it's shared by a 49ers media person that says NFL has given out 704 schedules over the past 22 years. The worst net rest differentials among those 704 are listed below in that chart that I was just talking about. It says the 49ers have 2 of the 7 worst differentials of the 704, their 2023 and 2024 season. Well, right above that was a tweet from somebody else who says, I don't know who needs to hear this, but the NFL doesn't hate the 49ers, and scheduled rest games against teams off bye weeks is entirely meaningless. Last season, the 2 games the 49ers lost to 2 teams off byes weren't because they played teams off bye weeks, right? So 2 completely different sides. So I'm thinking like, okay, well, me just as a normal person, any extra rest that you can get is always good, right? And I'm thinking people that are out there playing football, putting their bodies through all this shit, you know, we're always talking about, oh, they need to rest, you know, after a Sunday game, the best recovery is rest. They got to sleep. They got, you know, they got to rest their body. They got to do this to take care of their body. But now all of a sudden people are saying, no, the rest doesn't matter. So it doesn't matter if they're playing football, a Thursday night game, and then have to play a Saturday night game. It shouldn't matter because rest, it doesn't freaking matter. Okay. So after all that, then there's somebody that shares, and this is about the NFL schedule guru, they call him, Mike North, downplayed rest disparity, saying 49ers, Chiefs, Rams, Eagles had worst last year, like the worst, you know, rest differential last year, and they all made the playoffs. we are solving this. This is in quotes. This is what he said. We are solving the things that truly are unfair and maybe not spending too much time worrying about the things that maybe we shouldn't be. So, what are your thoughts when it comes to this whole rest situation and how the 49ers, have had two of the worst, in back-to-back years now?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, it's a really tough and unfortunate draw for the 49ers. To say that it doesn't matter, I think, is crazy. And to use the 49ers and other teams' success as the reason that it doesn't matter, I think, is crazy as well. Because we don't actually know how it impacted the 49ers and how they felt in those games. I mean, I guess, like, it's good that the 49ers have shown that they can overcome that, but it is a
Mhm.
disadvantage. I mean, just because a team overcomes a disadvantage doesn't make the disadvantage not real. Like,
Right.
what are we even saying? Like, that's exactly what people are saying when they say, like, the rest doesn't matter. And it's just crazy the 49ers have had 2 years in a row with basically, like, top 10, rest lowest rest differential. Like that's pretty crazy. But I think this 49ers team is strong-willed. I think they're the type of team who could overcome it. It's gonna add to the wear and tear, I think, a little bit, or it could in certain games, but I mean, that's the hand you've been dealt and you got to play it, right? So uh, look, fans can say what they want because we're fans and we're not playing the game. At the end of the
Mm.
day, the 49ers, they're the ones who are going to have to deal with it and, overcome it however they can. But yeah, I mean, on top of that, they have the fifth most travel um, as well. So, like, add that into everything. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty crazy. Despite all that, though, the 49ers are favored for all 17 of their games,
That was our
which is
next topic,
wild
so
because they're
go into it.
literally playing the Chiefs. I'm like, at least that one doesn't make sense, but I guess okay.
Yeah, like, I couldn't believe when I heard that. I was in a space and I heard somebody say that in there, that the 49ers are the only team that's favored against every opponent. And that was my first thoughts. Like, we play the Chiefs this year, a team that we haven't beat in I don't know how freaking long. Like, every time, it doesn't matter, regular season, playoffs, like,
Since before
Patrick Mahomes has one leg, it doesn't matter. Like,
Yep.
and yet we're somehow favored, like, against them, who, Super Bowl champs. Like, I was like, okay. There were definitely some, like, I couldn't believe it. So I had to go look it up myself because, I'm just like, this doesn't make any sense. But sure enough, it was true. And I'm just like, wow. And me being a Vegas person, like, that's something, like, I'm always checking the odds, checking this, checking that. So for the 49ers, and it probably will change, we're not going to make it through the whole season, like, being that way, but to open up as the only entire team, like, you would think that would be like, who are the Chiefs not favored against besides the 49ers? The Bills, like, they must be very disrespectful for the Chiefs coming into this season, because and always, like, the 49ers are always opening up as Super Bowl favorites too. And it's just like did we beat the Chiefs and I just don't remember, or because it seems like something I would remember. But yeah. Looking at the schedule, us being, fans, obviously, the players, they open up the schedule and they're looking it up for their favorite games, their ones circling games they're looking forward to. What games can we expect to see Steph Sanchez at this season? Which ones you aiming for?
I definitely don't really make that decision this early. I usually, like, play it by ear just based on ticket prices and all that once the
Yeah.
season starts. I am eyeing the week 1 home opener, season opener, though, against the Jets. That one is definitely tempting to me right now. Let's see. Besides that, I mean, I'd love to go to an away game. If I don't go to week 1, like, I'd love to go to Minnesota, check that stadium out. if there wasn't the chance of it being cold, I would love to go to Lambeau or, Buffalo.
Like, I feel like that's when you have to experience Lambeau sometime, like, before
No,
you die.
I'm okay. All right. I could check it
I
out as
got
a ghost.
you.
Not worried about that in my lifetime. Yeah, and then I'd also love that Week 17 Monday Night Football game as well. Or Rams at SoFi. See, all the games I want to go to are early in the season, so that's not
Yeah.
gonna work out. I gotta figure it out. But yeah, as of right now, tentative Week 1.
Yeah, last year for my birthday, which is the beginning of December, and our anniversary is the end of November. So we usually lump them together and celebrate, sometime around my birthday. So last year we went to the game in Arizona because that's, pretty much the closest place for us to be able to drive to an away place.
Yeah.
So before the schedule came out, I was thinking maybe we'd do Arizona again because that's usually right around that time. But this year it's the last game of the season. And so that's obviously not anywhere near, where our plans were. So I've never been to a home game. So I'm looking for games, that are close by that we could drive to. And my wife comes up with the idea that, well, why don't we just go to San Francisco or Santa Clara, whatever, to go to, our first home game. So hopefully, if everything can fall into place, we're trying to go to Week 15, which is Thursday Night Football, against the Rams. So on December 12th, hopefully. And, just like fly in, for a couple days and then fly back. I've never been to San Francisco, never been to a home game. So hopefully, this is the season that we can make that happen.
We're speaking it into existence. Mariah's going to her first game, Week 15. You heard it here first.
Yep. So yeah, hopefully, I'm gonna start filling up my piggy bank right now with all my pennies that I find on the ground. And we can get it together. All right, let's talk about my guy. We can't have a show without talking about Brandon Ayuk. So here we go. Now, the other day, the 49ers signed somebody. A D-line, O-line, somebody. I forget, but I wake up, at the butt crack of dawn for me. Like I've only slept a few hours. I open up my phone, check my, notifications. So the 49ers page says, oh, we posted something. So I click on it and see 49ers signed. And I started getting so excited. I'm like, yes, I'm thinking that they extended Brandon Ayuk. No, they didn't. They fucking didn't. So I was very sad. I went back to sleep and I was mad the rest of the day until I saw that Brandon Ayuk had been live on IG or something. I don't have all that. So, I never know. I find the videos later. And he posted so I saw a clip that's going around. And in the clip, he's walking around his backyard and he's saying how blessed he is for everything. Here, I have it. Let me just play it for us here.
Yeah, he posted that on his story, right? That part.
Yeah, this is what gave me life here. Let me make sure it's loud enough.
Great. Hey. You know what I'm saying? So many blessings. We blessed to have life this morning, Tuesday morning. The grass green, the trees is bloom. You know what I'm saying? The pool water heated. All the trucks is filled up with gas, premium. You know what I'm saying? Wifey in the house cooking breakfast. Yeah. Son on the trampoline. We so blessed, man. We so blessed. I don't have no neighbors. Like, what? I don't live next to you niggas. Sorry. But you feel me? Blessed.
So trucks are filled with premium gas, not just regular gas. You're gonna have some money to be putting premium gas in your car these days. I don't know. Collie. BA was just listening to Blessings by Big Sean. I'm hoping that means BA is blessed to be having a bag of money coming his way, and that soon we get the news of the Brandon Ayuk extension. What do you think, Steph?
I mean, it definitely looked like a man who was in a good mood, right? He is feeling blessed. The question is, how blessed are we talking? And so that's a question. I guess we'll just have to wait and find out. But this is already like a great tone, I think, compared to what we maybe saw after the Super Bowl, shortly after that, leading up to the draft, all that. So this is good. I like Brandon Ayuk in a good mood. I feel like things are heading in the right direction. And yeah, I do think the 49ers get this done before training camp. I've kind of like circled June 1st just because that's when the 49ers will get the money from Eric Armstead's release. And so they'll have some money to work with then. And so that's kind of what I'm thinking. And by the sounds of it, though, it seems like maybe there is some progress if we're speculating based on his video, which you can't stop us. We're gonna speculate.
Exactly. What's up, Zach? I got Nick Bosa right here. Welcome. Please don't leave any food takes while you're here. Appreciate it. Yeah, June 1st. I mean, did you see Ayuk while you were there? Did you hear anything about it? Did you see any money bags?
I didn't see anyone there because it was like I wish, right? But it was Sunday, and it was the Sunday after the draft, so the draft had just ended because day 3 was the last day, so it was pretty dead. There was like no one there.
Damn it, Steph! You're supposed to be like looking through the doors and under the stuff, and
there were no
for
clues.
A sign that said Ayuk, like nothing.
No clues.
All right. Are you sure you don't want a food take? Yes, we're sure. We saw enough. Thanks. I told him I wonder, I'm interested to see what his pantry, and I use the word pantry, but like some people don't obviously have a pantry. I just have like a little food cabinet here. So he says he doesn't have a pantry, but I'm interested to see what his food cabinet looks like because
or
there's not too many things. He doesn't like too many things, people, if you don't know. He doesn't eat too much stuff. I'm like, he must have like the same 5 things, like the entire one row. It has like the entire full of one thing, the next row, entire thing, like because he can't eat that many different things
he likes.
Yep. Callie says, I forgot. Congratulations, Steph. Doing big things. That was dope.
Thank you, Callie.
You should. That would be great content to put out. We definitely need to see that.
Nobody wants to see that. Ain't nobody want to see that.
Hey, Sin. All right. Let's go into this week for the Who Would Use. We're going to change it up a little. It's start, sit, and kick them hell off the team edition. All right?
Jeez, that's aggressive.
So I'm going to list off 3 players. Let me know who we're sitting, who we're starting, and who's not making the team. All right?
Damn. Okay.
All right. Here we go. We're starting with wide receivers.
Good.
Deebo Samuel, Brandon Ayuk, and T.O.
Oh, come on. Come on.
Kick Ambry. Poor Ambry. Catching strays. He ain't even on the list.
Catching strays. Damn, that's tough. That's tough, Mariah. I mean, if I want a traditional offense, then I'm gonna go with T.O.
Today's
and probably
team.
Brandon Ayuk.
Today's offense. The quarterback that we have right now.
I have to go T.O. and Brandon Ayuk.
All right. Debo, sorry, buddy, you out of
Don't
here.
say I hate Debo.
Nobody said that.
That's a
Calm
crazy
down.
thing about like anytime, like if you just suggest that Debo won't be on the team, people just assume that like you hate him. Like people have gone on Twitter being like, I can't believe like everyone's against this man now. And it's like, dude, no one's against him. Like we're just reading the tea leaves. Why don't you join us, you know? Being
Agreed.
realistic.
All right, quarterbacks. Colin Kaepernick. Damn. Brock Purdy. And Jeff Garcia.
So assuming I get Colin Kaepernick in his prime, I gotta go Kaepernick, and I'm gonna go Brock Purdy. Sorry, Jeff Garcia.
All right, that one was easy, but first I had Steve Young on the list, and like I didn't want to make it too, lopsided. So yeah.
Yeah.
All right, tight ends: George Kittle, Vernon Davis, and Brent Jones.
I mean, like I didn't get to see Brent Jones play, so for me, it might not be the right decision, but it's an easy decision just because like I haven't seen him. So I'm gonna go Kittle, and you said Vernon Davis, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, Brent. Oh man, Brent, you out of here. Running backs: Roger Craig, Frank Gore, and Christian McCaffrey.
Dang, that's tough too. It's hard to not be recency bias on this. Roger Craig, similar to McCaffrey in the way that he was good at catching passes. Like he kind of do it all. So their skill sets do overlap. Just because I already know what Christian McCaffrey looks like in this offense, and considering that, like, McCaffrey, assuming he's healthy, I'm gonna go with. You know what? Actually, if we're talking about today's NFL, I'm gonna go Roger Craig, and I'm gonna go Christian McCaffrey, and that's crazy because I love Frank. I love Frank Gore. He's one of my favorite all-time players. But I don't know how what his skill set would look like in like today's NFL.
Or with Kyle.
Yeah, exactly. And I just think there's more you can do. Hell, like if I'm cutting Debo, then I have either Christian McCaffrey or Roger Craig who can kind of fill in that role. So
could you imagine? Like, holy
here.
shit. Kyle would have a freaking field day. He would have a field day with those two. All right. Another wide receiver bunch. We got Jerry Rice, Dwight Clark, and John Taylor.
That's tough. I didn't see a lot of those guys like really play.
But you heard the legend stories.
Yeah, I mean the catch. Let's see.
Don't be kicking Dwight after Clark right before his.
I know, right? Like, damn, why
you the 49ers?
Why are you doing this to me? Like, can we kick that one in next week? Maybe I'll have a better answer. I don't know.
What do you think, chat? Jerry Rice?
Yeah, help me out.
Dwight
Help
Clark
me out here.
Or John Taylor? Who's not making the team?
Their, like, all-time stats.
Look them up.
Okay. So Dwight Clark has the third most receiving yards. John Taylor has the 8th most. That's counting tight ends too. So that's just like any pass catchers. Who was the other one? Who's the third?
Jerry.
Oh, Jerry, man. I mean, Jerry's at the top. He's literally like the first, and he like laps Terrell Owens twice in yardage.
I know, that's crazy. So
I'm gonna go Rice and Clark. Yeah,
I like it.
Yeah.
All right. We're done with those. Don't have to stress out anymore. I have a would you rather question though for you and the chat before we get out of here. Now, I heard this on a show this week, and it was such a good one because everybody was going back and forth. Like there was no like, oh, we're all doing this way. Like it was so mixed. So I thought it was a good one. I wanted to get your thoughts on it. Would you rather know every language or be able to speak to animals?
That's a good one.
Because every language you're having to, like, you could use that for your advantage. You know, people get paid more, like if they're bilingual, if they're, you know, if you know every language, you might be getting the bag. But at the same time, you could be involved in all kinds of crazy shit because people are going to be wanting to use you for stuff.
I mean, Dr. Doolittle. Like that's literally the story of Dr. Doolittle.
Animals, you're going to hear.
I could be a vet. I could be a vet, you know. Wait, what about doing the dirty?
You're going to hear the animals doing the dirty, the two pigeons outside, you know, like animals cussing you out. Like you got,
I'm going to hear the actual words.
But they're also going to be able to tell you what's wrong with them, like all this, like you said, like Dr. Doolittle. So you'd be able to use it to your advantage too. So it's tricky.
I think I would say every language. Just because I feel like I can actually use that. I think a little bit more. I don't want to be cursed by like being able to hear animals and what they have to say. My cat is annoying enough when she's begging for food. I don't need to know I don't need a translator for that. Trust me.
I chose speak to animals because I don't even want to talk to people in English.
That's
I don't
true.
want to hear people in Spanish. I don't want to have to talk to people in Chinese. I don't care what language you talk to. I don't really want to talk to you. So I'd much rather talk to animals any day of the week. I talk to my animals already more than I talk to anybody. So
there you go.
I don't know how I feel about them, you know, cussing me out and stuff like that. But, you know, you got to take the good with the bad. So, so yeah. And could you imagine, like, they're going to use you in, like, war talks, like, to talk to this country and that country, because you can talk to everybody. Yeah, you don't need a translator. You don't need nothing.
There has to be someone today who knows, like, a shit ton of languages. So
there's probably in their world record book, probably.
They're in, like,
probably, like, 7
United
languages.
Nations.
Not freaking. How many are there? Like 50? Who knows?
Oh, there's probably more than that.
You think? I agree, KJ. The animals are good listeners and they don't have to talk back. Steph, what else you got going on that you want to tell the good people about?
Nothing. I'm like playing it by ear if I want to do another live like tomorrow or something like that. But other than that, I think I'm done for the week and start back up Monday with Weston. We're gonna continue to talking about this schedule and any other 49er news that comes out between now and then.
Sounds great. I didn't do a show with TL this week because he had other things going on. Me and him will be back next week, probably Wednesday-ish. But starting Monday, I do have a new show with Ty. It's going to be covering the Las Vegas Aces and the WNBA in general as a whole, but specifically, more lean towards the Las Vegas Aces. So that show is called Aces High. We will be starting that Monday. I'm not sure the time yet, but we'll be showing it on both of our channels, my channel, his channel. And yeah, my channel is also going through a current rebranding stage right now to kind of add in the Las Vegas, into it all. But obviously 49ers are my number one love. That's going to get my most attention. But I think the WNBA has needed to be covered for a while. There's not enough people out there, talking about it. Yeah. And the 49ers community is so oversaturated. And I just think, it's a good time to bring light and everything to the to the WNBA. And I've been wanting to do it for a couple years, but I didn't have I didn't want to do it by myself, So actually Ty came to me and asked me if I wanted to do it. And I thought he was just joking at first, but then the more I thought about it, I'm like, you know what? Yeah, like, are you joking? Are you serious? Because I'm down. This is something I want to do. He's like, no, I'm serious. So we're doing it.
Oh, Ty.
We're making it happen. Yeah. Awesome. So WNBA started this week. So our show will be starting Monday. And right now we'll do it every Monday. So we'll have 2 or 3 games to talk about each episode. And then like I said, we'll, spread light to the rest of the WNBA as well. So even if you aren't specifically an Aces fan, but want to, learn more about the WNBA, get into the WNBA, come through. It'll be on my channel, 49 Faithfully. It'll also be shown on Ty's channel as well. So yeah, that's that. And then me and Steph will be back next Thursday for the Two Goats show. Same time, same place. Chat. We appreciate you guys so much. You guys are always amazing. Keeping this. Oh, I didn't know about this. He said Aces High is a great Iron Maiden song. I'm gonna have to look that up.
I thought maybe that's why you named it that, to give it a little play on words or something.
Ty came up with that, and so I used it as a play.
Maybe he knows the song.
Maybe, but it's like Aces High, so in a poker hand. But then I took it as the way high, as in I'm always high. So I added smoke to the.
Hey, we got a bunch of meanings on that one.
That's a triple. What is it? Triple entendre.
Triple entendre.
The Drake ain't got shit on us. Watch out. All right, chat. Like I was saying, you guys are awesome. We are out of here. Everybody have a safe, wonderful rest of your week and an amazing weekend. We'll see you. We'll both see you guys Monday. Peace.